Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Wellham's World YouTube channel. Today, I have another tier list. Last week's was obviously the chocolate milk one, and previously we obviously did the zombies one for Call of Duty. Today, it's another one I've created. Basically, I just searched up like what are the most sort of commonly eaten / famous and favourite cheeses in the world. And this is them. This is the list this is a combination of 2 or 3 lists that I was kind of given, and a couple of my own which didn't appear on any lists, which I think is a bit of a crime. Edam didn't appear on any of the lists that I looked at. Neither did fucking Red Leicester, and I just thought that's just why is nacho cheese on a list and why is American cheese on a list? But you're not putting fucking Edam, which is like, it's fine. I'm not tilted. I'm not upset. We're here to rate some cheese. I am a bit of a cheese man. I do like cheese. I like this. Like, the thing is, last week I said I was the chocolate milk connoisseur, and I'm not going to claim to be the cheese connoisseur because I don't know every cheese in the world. But one thing that I do find quite alarming is the first 2 tier lists I've sort of like done that aren't gaming related, to do with milk and cheese. And as someone who suffers from lactose intolerance, to say I'm a connoisseur of those things is quite alarming, and I do feel terribly sorry for my partner. So, it is what it is. I can't help myself. When there's something just that good, it doesn't matter if it makes you ill or not. You gotta enjoy it. And the things I enjoy are chocolate milk and cheese. And these are like my my favourite sort of things. My guilty pleasure foods, my naughty foods that I shouldn't really eat if I'm going to have a healthy diet. But come on, it's cheese. You know what I mean? Like, who the fuck am I? Like, I'm not. What, you just expect me not to eat cheese? Not going to happen. So that's why we're in this situation. Although I do see a couple on here that genuinely make me feel ill. So from the tiers we've got are incredible, good, decent, not a fan, and absolutely not. And when I was compiling these and looking at some of the cheeses, I thought this is going to be quite top heavy. Looking at it based on what I've compiled here, it's going to be relatively decently top heavy. There's going to be a few that are going to be low down though. So from left to right, it's actually ordered them in alphabetical order, which I think is quite nice of them. But we've got American cheese, which is like the sort of singles, the slices, brie, camembert, cheddar, cottage cheese, cream cheese, Edam, feta, halloumi, Monterey Jack, mozzarella, nacho cheese, Red Leicester, and Stilton. I know I understand that there's hundreds of cheeses out there. There's not many Italian cheeses in here, so you've got things like Parmesan or Parmigiano. I don't know if they're both the same thing, but that's just one off the top of my head. So the way I'm going to kind of do this is obviously go from bottom to top and rank them as if they're as if it is my sort of worst to best ranking of them. And when I was kind of looking at them, I was thinking, there's some here that you'd use in a dish, there's some that you would eat just as it is in a sandwich, things like that. So there's different things to consider in terms of just the consumption of cheese, shall we say. But we'll get straight into it, and in the absolutely not category. And I thought that Stilton was going to be at the bottom, because obviously who the fuck wants to eat something with just mouldy cheese? Who the fuck wants that? However, cottage cheese, it looks fucking gross. It tastes fucking gross. And anyone if there's literally anybody on the planet that says their favourite cheese is cottage cheese, they need to be fucking locked up. Look, it's just curdled, gross fucking mess. It's wrong. It's an abomination, is how I would describe it. People that like cottage cheese, get in the bin. And next, Stilton. Stilton's still shit. If cottage cheese wasn't on this list, Stilton would be at the bottom. I'm going to throw it out there. This always comes out around Christmas. So you get at Christmas, my family, when I'd go home, we'd have like cheese and crackers, which is absolutely fine. Slap a bit of Edam on a cracker and I'm good to go. When they rock up and bring out Stilton or cheese that has fucking cranberries in it, no, I don't want my cheese to have fruit in it. I don't want my cheese to have mold. Like, I don't want it to be fucking blue. Oh, yeah, it adds extra flavour. It's just grim. Fuck off. I don't want it. It's not for me. Not for me. Absolutely not. Well, that got a bit aggressive, didn't it? But next, feta. People put feta in salad. That's fine. I don't want feta in salad. I don't want feta anywhere, really. I think it's bearable to eat it in a salad, which is why it's not in Absolutely Not. It's just one of those things where I'd rather not have it. You know, that's why it's in Not a Fan rather than Absolutely Not. I think there is a time and a place for feta. I just don't think it's very often, and that's why it's not in the bottom tier. There's not a lot to say about it. Cream cheese, it's not very. I don't really rate cream cheese that much. I like it on like a bagel or something, but I want something with it. It on its own, I wouldn't go near it. I wouldn't obviously just eat cream cheese, but if it was on like cream cheese and salmon, is quite frequent. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. On a bagel, I'd take it. There's a bagel shop near where I live, and they put cream cheese on a bagel, and it was pretty nice. So I'm not gonna choose cream cheese. I'm not gonna go out of my way to have it, but it can be good mixed into things or on something. So that's why it's going just ahead of feta, because feta's kind of one of those where I wouldn't even think about putting it on something. But if it's in a salad, it's kind of like there. That's fine. You know, but I wouldn't put it in something of my own accord. Next, fuck off, American cheese. I don't really get American cheese. Like, the only time I've ever had the American cheese is in burgers. And usually it's fast food burger places. If I go to a place that's like an independent burger shop, there's another cheese on here, Monterey Jack, which I've seen a few sort of independent burger places quite frequently put Monterey Jack cheese on burgers now, which is a far better alternative. Even cheddar, red Leicester, mozzarella, halloumi, put any of it in fucking burgers as opposed to American cheese. McDonald's need to sort their shit out and get rid of this shit cheese slices and put like proper cheddar in it, and then it would just make their burgers better. And they do it with their promotional burgers with like the with the Big Macs and stuff. They just chuck a bit of that on there. But in like their promotional burgers, they're like actual ones they give a shit about. They put different cheeses on, and it's always better. Like there's like pepper jack cheese maybe? There's like some peppered cheese. I don't know what it's called. Which they sometimes put in them, and that's pretty good. So can we just not with American cheese as much? Do you know what? Actually, sub-rant. I saw American cheese on a fucking pizza once. Literally, there was a pizza and the cheese that they put on it with the cheese slices, and I thought, that's just horrendous. That should never happen. It just shouldn't. That's why do it? It's just not on. Put mozzarella on a pizza. Don't put American cheese on a pizza. At least put cheddar on it, like, at the very least. Anyway, now we're moving into the decent section, which means everything I should say from now on should be a little bit more positive in terms of what I say about the cheeses. But the bottom of decent is going to be nacho. There aren't many occasions where I would actually have nacho cheese. The time I can really think of, well, is obviously on nachos, but it would probably be at the cinema. So nachos would be a fairly decent shout for a cinema snack. They usually have it in a little pot and then have the nachos separate, which I'm not quite such a fan of. I'd rather have it drizzled over. But something that I did have, I can't remember where I had it. I think it might have been at Thorpe Park or Rotten Towers or something, but I had a hot dog and he dribbled nacho cheese on the hot dog. That was good. That was real good. But the thing is with nacho cheese, obviously, because it's like melty and sticky and shit, I'd rather have it drizzled over the nachos than have it in a pot next to the nachos. Just for coverage, you know? But I reckon if you did a cheesy chips but used nacho cheese on top, that shit would hit. That shit would be bussin'. So that's why nacho cheese goes into decent. And then I think the next is Monterey Jack. It goes above nacho cheese. But again, I don't really think there are many instances where I'd actually have Monterey Jack. I just think it's not something I would probably have often, if at all, really. Other than, like I said, there's a lot of independent burger places that are putting it on their burgers now, and that's nice. It's tasty. I've not had an issue with the taste or the flavour at any point, so that's why it's going into decent. It doesn't deserve to be in anything lower. I just don't think it deserves to be higher because I can't imagine many situations where I'd have Monterey Jack cheese. Yeah, so I think that's a fairly deserving spot. Now this is where it gets kind of tough. You know, we've got 7 cheeses left, and they're all going good or incredible. And I've got Brie and Camembert, which are quite similar to one another. And I'm trying to think. I mean, realistically, I would probably put Brie first, or not first necessarily in the whole list, but ahead of Camembert. And just looking at what we've got left, I think next cheese in good is Camembert, mainly because when you cook Camembert and then dip hot like petit pan bread into it, or like when you cook a bread and you have a hot bread and put it into the Camembert, my god, it hits unbelievably different. It's so good. But there aren't like so many occasions where I'd have Camembert. It's often a Christmas thing. I always see it in like Christmas deals at like Tesco and stuff, which, I mean, I know it's sold all year round, but it's not often that I'd go into a Tesco cheese aisle and think, you know what, I quite fancy a Camembert today. You know, it's not really something that goes through my mind. So that's why I think it's there. It's good. When you have it, it's good, but it's just not often that you would have it. Similar to Monterey Jack, but I just think it's better than Monterey Jack. Put some hot Camembert and some hot bread in it. It's fucking unreal. I think this is going to be the next pick. Sorry, I'm having a bit of a stutter there. The next pick is a controversial one. I feel like it's going to go quite low compared to what people would consider it to be. I still think it's incredibly high up. It's in good, right? Fuck hell. There we go. Cheddar. Cheddar goes next, and having it below these 5 is potentially quite controversial, but it is very versatile. But it's just cheddar. You know what I mean? It's just kind of boring. It is what it is. I put it in a sandwich. I'd put it on a pizza. I'd mix it into some sort of spag bowl, but it wouldn't be my first choice for any of those things. Do you know what I mean? I'd put it in a sandwich, but I'd choose Red Leicester or Edam over cheddar for a sandwich. I'd put it on a pizza, but I'd much rather have mozzarella on a pizza. I'd put it in a pasta, but I'd rather have like Parmesan or some shredded mozzarella or something like that rather than cheddar. So that's what it's good and it's versatile, but each thing that I would use it for, there are like other cheeses that I would rather have in that position, you know. And I think that's why it just goes where it is. And I think next is Edam. Edam is very good. Very good. It's probably my number 1 or number 2 sandwich cheese. There's one that goes above it, and it's going to be the next one. But it's my number 1 sandwich cheese. I like I was saying about having cheese and crackers with family. It's always one I'd devour. Edam, absolutely devour it. And I think it's fucking brilliant. I think it's so nice. The flavour's just better than cheddar. So I think that's probably one of the, I think it's from the Netherlands. So, Dutch people, good job. You're good at cheeses, because Gouda is nice as well. I don't really know why Gouda is not on the list, but anyway, Edam is there. Next, boom, Red Leicester. Red Leicester is my favourite sandwich cheese, and I remember when I first had Red Leicester, I was like, what the fuck? Why would I want this instead of cheddar? But it tastes better. I've had Red Leicester on pizza before, and I've made my own pizza, and it held up pretty nicely. But this is my number 1 sandwich cheese, and I think that's why also in a toasty on its own, right? So you put a cheese toasty, red Leicester toasty, and dip it into like soup or some shit. Unreal, absolutely unreal. That's why it's there. Now, 3 left, and I think having brie this high up might be quite controversial to some people. But the last one in good, it's not brie. Brie is going in incredible, and I'll give my reasons, but brie is in incredible. The last one in good is halloumi, and it is probably the meatiest cheese. And to be fair, I've seen people who do use it as a meat substitute in certain meals, but I think halloumi fries, fantastic. I had halloumi wrapped in bacon the other day with like this honey glaze, fucking perfect. Absolutely sensational. Don't know if I'd necessarily use it as a meat substitute, but this, like, when they did the halloumi fries at McDonald's, when it was like deep fried, that's good with like a bit of a batter on it. Having it breadcrumbed is nice. Having it on its own as like with something is good. Like I said, pair it up with a bacon and you've smashed it. So that's why it's going there. And now the first one in incredible is brie. Second favourite cheese, and like I said, could potentially be considered to be controversial. I personally, for obvious reasons, wouldn't say it is controversial. I mean, I couldn't say it's controversial because I fucking put it there. But brie is, I used to eat so much brie, and that's probably one of the reasons why I put on so much weight, because I would just devour brie. But I would eat the block, when you get like the triangle blocks. I remember walking to school one day when I was probably about 14, 15, going to Asda, buying a block of brie, and then eating it on the way to school from a breakfast. And that was what I had for breakfast. Bit weird, very weird. All my friends looked at me like I was some sort of freak, but deep down in my head, I knew that I was having the best time. But like I said, if you get one of those bake at home baguette, right? You cook the baguette, you butter it, or you marge it, whatever you use. Marge is a healthy alternative, so use that. Bacon or ham or chicken, then the brie, then chuck it back under till the brie melts. My God, fucking hell! And brie with cranberry sauce as well is fantastic. I know I said I didn't want fruit in my cheese, but fruit with my cheese, if it's cranberry sauce, that's different. Brie on a cracker with cranberry, that's good. That's fantastic. That's why it's got to go. It's got to go there. It's the better. I know obviously with camembert you cook it and you can like dip shit into it, but brie, if you cut it like relatively thin and then bake it, my God, it's phenomenal. And that leaves mozzarella is the go. It's the best cheese to have on a pizza. I would put it on top of a pasta or in a pasta. I would also have mozzarella. When I go to like the shop and I get when I buy cheese, if I buy slices of cheese, I'd buy Edam or Red Leicester, and if I was buying grated cheese, it would be mozzarella. So mozzarella in a toasty, phenomenal. Mozzarella on a pizza, phenomenal. Mozzarella sticks is the best sort of cheese stick type thing you can get. How you get like cheese bites and things from McDonald's. The mozzarella ones are the best, and that's just the truth. And I just think you can't really fault mozzarella. Have it in a pasta, have it on a pizza, have it in a sandwich, in a toasty, on its own. What could possibly go wrong? And there you have it. That's my worst to best for these specific cheeses. I know. Like I said, there's tons more cheeses. And then if you go into cheddar, there's obviously you've got mild cheddar, mature cheddar, things like that. So you've got like different, within those you've got subsections and stuff. So I get this is not like a comprehensive cheese tier list, but this is like two. So what I did is I searched like top 20 cheeses in. I was top 10 in America, top 10 in Europe, kind of thing, and then used a few of those. So Monterey Jack, nacho cheese, and American were obviously quite high on, and cottage cheese were quite high on the American list. Things like in the European lists there was feta, mozzarella, brie, halloumi. They were all there, and then I added red Leicester and things like that. You know, some British cheeses that you know, and obviously I added Edam because why the fuck weren't that on a list? Anyway, so the worst is cottage cheese. It looks gross. It's kind of making me feel a bit queasy just looking at it. And you've got Stilton, feta, cream cheese, American cheese, nacho cheese, Monterey Jack, camembert, cheddar, Edam, red Leicester, halloumi, brie, and then finally mozzarella. And that is my tier list for cheeses. If you agree, let me know. If you disagree, let me know. If there's any major huge cheese, I know I miss Gouda. That's one that I see straight away, and I think I probably should have fucking put Gouda on. But like I said, if there's any that you disagree with, I think cheddar's probably quite low for a lot of people. I think a lot of people would probably put cheddar ahead of red Leicester, but not for me. There is one person who I think would probably be able to give quite good feedback on this, and that'd be Ethan, my friend. I bet he loves the cheese, so and I'd be interested to see what he says about this. But I think some people might actually think putting brie so high is a bit criminal. But I've given my reasons. I'll stand by. I'll die on the hill. That's fine with me. But like I said, let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree with any of these. I'd love to know. I always like, these discussions. I like some of the comments I was getting in the zombies one and stuff. So it's always nice to see people having a respectful conversation in the comments and letting if they disagree, then that's fine. That's what opinions are for, isn't it? So yeah, so that's it for this video. If you did enjoy, please leave a like. Don't forget to comment and subscribe. And I will see you in the next video. So take care, everybody. Goodbye.